Hi there, how's it going? I really like movies, and I constantly use or try to find excuses to talk about movies on this channel. Bro, I love movies so much, I was gonna be a director. I shot short films. Will they ever surface? No, because I don't know where they are. But yeah, I went to school for film for like a year. Yes, I know that's kind of a dumb degree, but I don't care. Decided that wasn't, I didn't think that was the most profitable ones. I got kind of spooked because of AI and stuff. But I've kept up this channel, which is kind of like filmmaking. I'm editing shit. And the reason I want to talk about films today, and particularly two films, the films made by the RackaRacka team, aka Danny and Michael Filipino. Danny and Michael from RackaRacka. Now, RackaRacka, I will say, I didn't really know them by name for a while and stuff. Of course, I would see their videos popping up in a lot of places, and they were fantastic videos, I will say. I think the number one most recent, the one I remember the most as a kid was definitely the Ronald McDonald ones, specifically the Chicken Store Massacre. I watched that one a weird amount of times and shared it a lot with my friends, so that sort of fucked me up, not gonna lie. But the two films that they released, I will say, are some of the best horror films I have seen in quite a minute. Those two films being Talk to Me and their most recent film, Bring Her Back. Now, a little insight into me once again. I work at a movie theater with my best buddy, and we found out that they were releasing Bring Her Back. I didn't watch Talk to Me in theaters. I actually watched that later on my streaming services, which I'll get into my opinions about both films. But we saw that, and I was like, bro, you want to go see it? And he's just like, yeah. And I was like, bro, did you know that they also made Talk to Me? And he's like, yeah. So we saw Bring Her Back completely for free because of my job, because I work at a theater. And I was like, damn, Skippy, that was a good movie. And it came out May, but I thought about it. I was like, I need to make a video about these two. So this is a very haberdashed, smashed together video. Barely any editing besides, the parts where I breathe and stuff. And there's just Mortal Kombat footage in the background. Of course, I'm Ghostface because, it's horror time. But yeah, let's get into the two films. That being Talk to Me and Bring Her Back. Talk to Me, I didn't watch it when it initially came out. I actually watched it later on I think it was right before Dead Meat announced the kill count. Because if y'all don't realize, I am a massive fan of Dead Meat. I've been following them since probably right after the Friday the 13th original ones, not the recounts. But yeah, they were doing that, and I was like, you know what? Let me watch the movie first real quick, and I ended up loving it and stuff. It didn't personally connect to me like I know a lot of people it did for, because the hand is supposed to be a metaphor for drugs and stuff, or drugs within a teen setting and stuff, peer pressure, all that sort. I did connect to it on a personal level when it came to, deaths and stuff. I've experienced some deaths in my life, so I thought that was pretty nice. I remember it was going around, people were saying oh, this is the most fucked up movie you ever watched. It's not the most fucked up movie. It's definitely fucked up, but not the most fucked up movie. I'll tell you that right goddamn now. The kills in the movie are solid, I will say. It is a heartbreaking movie if you've never seen it. I'm not going to mention anything about it. I recommend you guys go watch both of these. I think you should be able to watch Bring Her Back in streaming, because I don't think it's in any theaters now. But yeah, go watch both of them. Really solid films. I'm not going to try to spoil a lot in this thing. If this video blows up and I get enough comments, maybe I'll do a deeper dive into both of these movies. I'm not a philosophical dude on YouTube because, well, y'all have seen the quality of my videos. I really don't like to write shit down. I just like to speak into the mic, edit it, and then just slam it out into the world. But if y'all really want, I'll talk more too about it. Talk to Me, I also remember it was I think one of the biggest A24 films that I remember and stuff. A24, that being the production company that's sort of known for indie stuff, but I also feel like they have a lot of mainstream appeal now, because there's been some big old movies that came out fairly recently and stuff, and a lot of the films I have watched were A24 films. I think specifically this year I've seen 5 of them, which I think is Warfare, Materialist, Bring Her Back. There's 3. I know I saw 3. This was a big marketing thing for them. I think you can still get the Talk to Me hand that they have. It's $100, but once again, if there's enough people asking, I'll get it. Overall, I would say the film is fantastic. There was a few moments where I was kind of zoned out with the whole entire thing, because I'm not gonna lie, if you're gonna do a possession or horror film like that involving ghosts and stuff, you gotta make it special. And they did, but some moments, I didn't particularly love all the characters watching them on screen. There were some dumb decisions, but again, you can sort of, get apologies from that, because, it is a horror film about teenagers. I know a bunch of dumb teenagers. When this film came out, I was still a dumb teenager. Not now, I'm just 20 years old, but yeah. Solid film, and a lot of people were saying this is the best film that came out. Pretty sure Papa Meat said yo, man, this is like the best movie. He made a whole video about it being the best horror film in a minute, which I can agree with that. But a film that I think is better, in my personal opinion, is Bring Her Back. Now, this one I'm not going to get into like any spoilers and stuff because I want you to just watch it. I wish I didn't even watch the trailers, bro. I wanted to know nothing about it. But it is one of the best horror films when it comes to like possession and religious themes and stuff. Because here's the thing. I get it. People like The Nun. People like The Omen and stuff. Good films. I remember The Nun was being, kind of okay. But like, if you're going to do religious horror, you got to do something special with that. And I believe Bring Her Back is one of those special movies that really do something interesting conceptually. The two main leads and stuff, I end up loving them and stuff. Everyone was fantastic in this film. And what I love about RackaRacka is, like, I knew no one in that movie. And I love it when that happens. I'm not saying, like, every movie that has, like, popular people in there and stuff is bad. I love Sinners, bro. Love Sinners. Loved Warfare. They got a lot of recognizable faces in there and stuff. But, yeah, not knowing, like, a single person there meant, like, anyone could die at any point. There was like, no holding back and stuff. I will say this movie is even more fucked up than Talk to Me, which is weird because both of these films have 3 words in them. Interesting think about. But yes, this one I'm specifically not going to go in anything. I'm not going to show you clips from either one of these movies either, just because, first off, don't want y'all to see any of that. But also, second off, I'm trying to get this video put together real quick, and I don't want to deal with copyright issues. So yeah, Mortal Kombat and posters. Bring Her Back is, as I was telling people when I worked at the theater, they were just like, hey, have you seen the other film they made? I was like, yeah. I was like, and they were like, well, how good was it and stuff? I was like, well, Talk to Me, it's pretty damn good. But, Bring Her Back is like up to here, which I'll also say the posters were really dope. I'm pretty sure I have one of the posters because, as a theater guy, I'm allowed to take a poster or two every now and then. And I think I have the poster on screen right here and stuff. And I gave my buddy the other one. So now we just have 2 posters. But yeah, I am thoroughly excited to watch Talk to Me, the numeral 2. And also, I need to clarify something and stuff because there was this rumor going around. If you are worried about seeing Bring Her Back and think it's a sequel to Talk to Me, it is not actually a sequel. There is a character, I believe, that makes a cameo appearance in the film that was in Talk to Me, but the directors fully said that this is not a secret sequel to it. It is more or less something that takes place in the same universe, which I like that because then if you watch Talk to Me first and then Bring Her Back, you can sort of make these connections with how the world works and how those specific things deal with. And I like that. Also, both films deal with grief, but I feel like I connected more specifically grief of a loved one. I felt like Bring Her Back connected with me more personally than Talk to Me. Yeah. But both films are fantastic. What is this video? What should you take away from this? That I like movies. There's probably going to be more content about movies. And that you should go watch both of these movies. And also go rewatch some RackaRacka videos. They got some dope shit. I will say, I'm kind of sad that they have not uploaded anything for like a year. But, I get it. If you're making some shit, then you're gonna want to focus on the shit that makes you the money. And the shit that you love. I get it. But anyway, y'all have yourselves a good day. A good night, a good midnight, I'll see you on the next one. Make sure not to die. Bye-bye.